COLORBOND, made by Australia.
When it's time to build, build on quality that's proven in Australia's harsh environment. Build on Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Style. Experience. Excellence. You have it all when you choose Lysart, steel roofing and walling. Insist on the best. Insist on Lysart.
Engineering is a great career for everyone. It lets you be creative, it lets you interact with other people, it lets you solve problems, and it lets you contribute to the real world.
We get to work on some really cool projects with some really cool people. We get to collaborate with really amazing architects and services engineers and surveyors and all of those people, and bringing that together to get to the end of it and go, you know what, I created that.
Proud to say that Kennedy's is a leading supplier of reclaimed, sustainably sourced hardwoods. As you can see by the sheer scale and volume of projects that we've been involved with, architects, designers, builders, shop fitters, homeowners, furniture makers recognise that Kennedy's is the go-to place for a positive environmental outcome.
Now you can easily bring your projects to life with Dulux BIM Solutions. Dulux BIM Solutions provides easy-to-use BIM content, so you can add Dulux colours and product ranges to your Revit and ArchiCAD models quickly and simply. The latest Dulux BIM content update now includes the Dulux World of Colour and product ranges from Dulux powder coatings, protective coatings, Acrotex and Intergrain timber finishes. Dulux BIM Solutions, inspiring creativity.
You know, the sun comes up every day, so if something happened to you that day, you know, the next day is going to be a new day and you just start off fresh. So that's one of the reasons why that summer sun colour is also good for me, but it's also the centre of our Aboriginal flag. So being able to share my culture through my art is something that I want to do, and teaching, you know, my daughters and my kids how to continue to do that as well.
Established in 1974, Alspec is the market leader in the design and distribution of innovative aluminium systems across Australia. Aluminium is strong, lightweight and 100% recyclable. Alspec is committed to sustainability and building Australia's future.
For more than 130 years, Bosch has designed products that spark enthusiasm, improve quality of life, and help conserve natural resources. We have built our reputation on design, quality, reliability, trust, and sustainability. In short, we want to create technology that is invented for life. With more than 200 international design awards attained over the past 5 years, Bosch is the clear leader in home appliances. Outstanding design requires both great form and function. For home appliances, invented for life means giving people peace of mind for their daily life at home.
The 2022 Queensland Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, BlueScope and Taubmans, Alspec, Dulux and Brickworks, Bondorm and Techno, Lysart, Fielders and Bosch, Plan Cover and Architecture Media, as well as the Queensland Chapter Partners, Hutchinson Builders, Homes Fire, Kennedy's Timbers, Peach Careers and the Office of the Queensland Government Architect.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the Queensland Architecture Awards for 2022. My name's Cameron Broon and I'm going to be your MC for our celebration this evening. To begin our night together, we are honoured to have songwoman Maruchi Baramba with us this evening to perform a Welcome to Country. Would you please welcome songwoman Maruchi.
Balandico, Gundulumbaler, Balandico, Gundulumbaler, Yang Indai, Yango, Gundai, Yango, Balandico, Gundulumbaler, Balandico, Gundulumbaler, Balandico, Gundulumbaler, Balandico, Gundul Numbaler, Yang Indai, Yango, Gundai, Yango, Balandico, Gundul Numbaler, Balandico, Gundul Numbaler. Yadani, Australian, Nabayugari, Murambaga. Yadani, Australia, boo. Yadani, Australia, boo means advance Australia in strength. Bulkari, Marumba, Mianjanu, that's welcome to Brisbane. In the language of the Turrbal people, Bulkari, Marumba, Kurulpanu, that's welcome to this actual bend in the Brisbane River, Kuripa. In the language of the Turrbal. My name is Maruchi Baramba, which means the black swan. From those people who sing up the wind, the painting on my face represents the black swan, and the painting on my cloak represents the black swan under all of that hair. When we do a Welcome to Country, that is done as a blessing of the gathering in a song. I'll do that in a tinctual, but with just share a little bit of the Turrbal experience with you. We're actually documented as being extinct, on the verge of extinction back in the 1860s, and it's just been one small family that has survived the impact of European settlement upon our ancestral homelands. In saying that, we acknowledge we're a part of a much larger group, though, which takes in the geographics of being approximately south of the Tropic of Capricorn, east of the Great Divide, and north of the Macpherson Ranges. You've got about 11 odd different tribes in there. We are from the one ancient society, and anthropologists refer to us as the South East Queensland Aboriginal Society. So the Turrbal people were actually made up of about 5 different clan groups. You had the Dakiyaka clan, whose area of cultural responsibility was between the Brisbane River and the Pine River. My family are actually direct descended from Dakiyaka. That name was anglicised to the Duke of York way back in the 1830s, and it was recorded in historical documentation by Foster Faines, who was commandant of the penal settlement of Moreton Bay at the time. He made reference to the Duke of York being the chief of the Brisbane tribe, so not the North Brisbane tribe, not the South Brisbane tribe, but the Brisbane tribe. So you've got the Dakiyaka clan areas between the Brisbane River and the Pine River. You've got the Coorparoo clan areas between the Brisbane River and the Logan River. To the west of the Coorparoo, you had the Chipara clan, which took in the catchment of Oxley Creek. To the east of the Coorparoo, you had the Mulruben clan. They took in the southwestern part of Moreton Bay. And north of the Dakiyaka clan, you had the Ninginigi clan, and the Turrbal lands also went up almost to the Glasshouse Mountains. So it starts at approximately around Limber Creek, and it takes in the eastern side of Caboolture, as well as the Redcliffe Peninsula. So that's a little bit about our mob. I'd like to extend the appreciation of the Turrbal people to your organisation for asking us to be here in this capacity today. Gives us an opportunity to share a little bit about our experience, how did we survive. One great-grandmother ran away from Brisbane and up to her mother's country. She was the Duke of York's daughter. In fact, I'm not pulling your leg. I mean, you read history books, there is this notion of the Duke of York tribe. So she went up to her mother's country, which is Noosa Heads, and spent a bit of time there because of the culture clash that happened here in Brisbane, which led to the decrease in our population, leading up to 1861, when Tom Petrie of the founding family of modern-day Brisbane actually said that he had only known of 5 of the old Brisbane tribe left. So, and he had articulated his position at a later date to say that was the Turrbal people. So I shall now sing the blessing of the gathering. The reason why I slipped that anthem in there is a statement of reconciliation. I'm one of the very, very few people that's messed up the Australian national anthem, standing in the middle of Melbourne Cricket Ground on Grand Final Saturday way back in 1993. Got bagged on the telly and got my supporters as well. So knowing the Melbourne crowd, they rang up the station telling them to leave me alone. But I actually also did it earlier that year, which on Australia Day, and it was in front of the Olympic Committee, who was going to look at whether Sydney will or will not get the Olympics. And I think yeah, that was an experience. So I shall now do the blessing of the gathering and hope everything goes well, and would like to congratulate all the awardees beforehand. So. Manda barista, Muriana men. Manda barista, Muriana men. Bisalgariatai, Gavagari buja, Manda barista. Muriana men, Manda barista, Muriana men. Nada payava, Ninyunganala, Manda barista, Muriana men. Manda barista, Mariana men, Manda barista, Mariana men. Garinina nami, juchamobironu, Garinina nami, Garinina nami, jujamobironu, Garinina nami, jujamobironu. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you. It's a delight to be presenting these awards in person this evening after such a long time of an experience of doing things via our screens. We are also live streaming tonight, so hello to all of those who are joining us from around Queensland and Australia and across the world. I'd like to particularly welcome VIPs in attendance this evening, with a particular note to our new member for Ryan, Elizabeth Watson-Brown MP. Would you please welcome Elizabeth? I'd also like to welcome representatives of the Institute's national corporate partners who are in the audience this evening. And thank you tonight to those people for their category messages, which will be playing throughout tonight's event. Of course, a few small housekeeping notes around your telephones to ensure that they are on silent mode, and that there is no food or drinks available on the terrace during the course of this ceremony. So to get things underway, I'd like to welcome to the stage Michael Lavery, Queensland Chapter Immediate Past President, who's representing Queensland President Mark Jones. Would you please welcome Michael?
Thank you, Cameron. Firstly, let me welcome you all, to those who've travelled from every corner of the state, and indeed those joining us from around Australia, and as Cameron has just reminded me, those of you joining us online and from overseas. Being the night when the whole of the Queensland community converges to celebrate, this event has always held special significance for me. Let me hold this up for you, because as many of you know, our chapter president, Dr. Mark Jones, sends his apologies this evening, and I am here in his place. To properly represent Mark, I believe it is important to tell you a little bit about his vision for the role as president. Mark was elected with a stated objective to focus on 3 issues. 1, linking architectural design and practice with a connection to country. 2, the architect's role in a zero-carbon world. And 3, the financial sustainability of architectural practice as a foundation for design and the future of the profession. These issues not only tell us about Mark as an architect and as a president, but they also speak to Mark as a human being. These issues remain a guiding light for Chapter Council. As he did at the Brisbane Awards, Mark would remind us of the importance of our clients, our greatest advocates, our responsibility to consider the public realm in all of our work, the value and dignity of those who work with us to deliver projects, and particularly the dignity brought by those who work and collaborate with us as staff. The value of our construction partners, particularly the builders, who at their best conspire with us to build our clients' buildings at the highest possible quality, providing the greatest possible long-term value. Because it has always been value, not price, that is the focus of our work. I believe that when we talk about value, we mean delivering more than was anticipated. Healthier cities, safer streets, increased housing options and denser communities delivered with greater amenity, and education facilities that actively increase the opportunity for knowledge transfer. These are just some of the built examples. But I would also add here architects' work on policy and advocacy, and cite, for example, the recent example around the design of procurement processes which assist in the delivery of better value for everyone. The taxpayer is front of mind. Because it is not just in the design of buildings that architects are working to add value. Libby is here to attest to that. And whether it be for the private client or an institution, whether it is at the scale of the city or the state, whether it is in delivering on an international stage like an Olympics, or whether it is designing the structure which sets up the project for success, it is always value that has interested us. Knowing the criteria for the awards program, we can expect to see a multitude of projects this evening which show leadership and innovation across a broad range of subjects, and which will illustrate how to serve both the client and the public interest. In essence, value defined this way is the story of the awards program. It remains a feat to get anything of quality built, and so Mark would want me to congratulate all of the awards program's entrants this year, and again thank our clients. Lastly, I know that Mark feels a strong affinity with Brian Hooper's observation that we should look at the awards program not as a competition, but rather as a celebration and as a recognition of excellence. Having seen much of the work from the last 3 decades, I'm talking about Mark here, and more specifically this year's entries, Mark would say, we have much to celebrate. So on behalf of Mark, let's do just that.
Thank you, Michael. Friends, we have a very big night ahead with 85 projects in the running across the main awards categories. And together, I'd like us to acknowledge and thank the State Jury for their efforts and deliberations. Would you please acknowledge and thank our Jury Chair, Shai Tay, and his fellow jurors, Paul Jones, Leah Lang, and Marianne Amons. Would you please stand? To say a few words before we move on to the announcements, I'd like to hand over to Shai Tay. Would you please welcome Shai?
Thanks, Cameron. Firstly, I'll promise I'm not going to shout. Thank you to our VIPs, national partners, sponsors, and distinguished guests for joining us tonight. I'm also pleased we can host this event in person and not from a TV screen. It's been extremely humbling and a great privilege to be the chair of jury this year. I'm extremely proud of the many things we have achieved, and many in the room would have heard me share anecdotes through a lot of the ad hoc speeches that I've given through the regional awards. But I'd like to take this opportunity again to share some of the highlights of this remarkable season we have had. Our 7 regions and the regional awards program goes towards creating a strong and diverse AIA chapter. This year, our 64-strong jurors visited 154 entries in person across the state. And I hope we can continue this tradition. We have continued to diversify our pool of jurors by inviting industry peers across planning, design, and media, as well as graduates and students of architecture to contribute to the program. I believe by being more inclusive and seeking broader engagement, which is one of the core purposes of this program, we have a stronger collective voice in communicating the value of good design. In recent years, more emphasis has been placed on recognizing the contributions of members from the EmAGN demographic. In addition to the EmAGN Architect Prize, I'm pleased the EmAGN Project Award is now included in all state programs across the country. And I'll take this moment to also congratulate those that haven't volunteered to be in the jury before to step forward in the future, because this will be a very enriching journey that you will experience being part of the program. On the projects, there's no awards program if there's no projects. The qualities of entry this year was exceptional and reflects a statewide commitment to good design and good outcome. As we recovered from the pandemics and recent weather events, this year of uncertainty has catalyzed opportunities for the profession to be of greater service to our communities. This year, the state jurors have embraced the theme of resilience in assessing design excellence. And this is a reminder of the responsibility we have as architects to design with great regard for the long-term impacts. Of the many projects that we have visited, we've witnessed projects that provided immeasurable values and support to the community with modest means. We've witnessed projects that sensitively celebrated First Nations people relationship with ecology and landscape. Projects setting new benchmarks that will leave a lasting, sustainable legacy. Projects providing solutions to housing affordability, densification, and environmental challenges. Projects showcasing commitment and the best for project attitude between client and architect to create a better world. And I have to actually give my acknowledgement to all the clients that have enabled all these projects, because if there's no clients, there's no projects, there's no projects, there's no need for jurors, and there's no program. So without stretching this too long, I'd like to congratulate all the practices that have entered projects into the awards program this year. It's very gutsy of you, and I hope more will step forward to do so. And good luck to all the state shortlisted entrants. And finally, there's always a long list of people to thank. In addition to my fellow state jurors, Paul, Leah, and Marianne, our very dedicated chapter staff, Anna, Chidu, and Rhiannon, for sharing this experience and their support, come rain or shine, and we had plenty of rain. And as a team, we have managed to overcome many challenges, including organizing this event this week, with grace and humor. Thank you.
Thanks, Shai. So some notes about how we'll proceed this evening. If your project wins a commendation or an award, after the proceedings are over, you can collect your certificate from the chapter staff. If your project wins a named award, which is of course the highest honour in each of our categories, please take the opportunity to come to the stage to collect your certificate, and if you wish, we'd be delighted if you'd say a few words here at this lectern. As we head into the first category, I'd like to thank the Queensland chapter's premier partner, Hutchinson Builders, and introduce this message from Scott.
These awards are about recognising great local architecture, and Hutch is proud to have been sponsoring the RAIA since 1989. Congratulations to all those nominated, and have a great night. Thank you.
Our first category is the COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture, supported by BlueScope. And it's my pleasure to introduce Cherie Taylor from BlueScope, who's sent through this message.
Hi everyone. BlueScope is so proud to be announcing the COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture at tonight's Queensland State Architecture Awards, where we celebrate the Queensland projects in which steel plays a significant and innovative role. I wish everyone nominated in this category the very best of luck. And what a year for the COLORBOND Award with 13 projects considered by the jury. let's take a look at the nominees.
Miami Aquatic Centre by Liquid Blue. Winship Shed by Red Dog Architects. Greenhouse by Steendyke. Newman Catholic College, Smithfield by TPG Architects. Mundingalbay Yidinji Eco-Cultural Arrival Facilities by Philip Foland Architects. Hota Gallery by ARM Architecture. Kingaroy Hospital Redevelopment by Conrad Gargett. Northwest Private Hospital by Philip Smith Conwell. Coastside by Dagenhart Shed, Architecture and Urban Design. Highgate Hill Home by JDA Co. Ridgewood House by Robinson Architects. Our Resilient House by Contexture. And Highvale House by Alexandra Buchanan Architecture.
The jury have awarded 2 commendations in addition to the COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture, and the first of these commendations goes to the Mundingalbay Yidinji Eco-Cultural Arrival Facilities by Philip Foland Architects. Our second commendation in the COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture is Miami Aquatic Centre by Liquid Blue. The 2022 COLORBOND Award for Steel Architecture is awarded to Ridgewood House by Robinson Architects.
Arriving at this pavilion-like house, located in the Noosa hinterland, an existing shed reclad in galvanised iron is brought back to life as a studio and utility space, the new awning continuing as the central spine into the house. The steelwork is carefully detailed and is an expressive part of the architecture. From the slender edge of the long cantilevering roof, batten screens filtering light and privacy, to the customised steel plate stand for the fireplace, the attention to detail is evident throughout. Congratulations, Robinson Architects.
Hi, thanks very much for this. It's pretty amazing. We love to use a lot of steel in our buildings to keep our roofs fine and to cantilever as much as we can. So thank you to the jury and to COLORBOND and BlueScope Steel. Cheers.
We now move on to the category of commercial architecture, which is supported by Lysart. Matt Hardy from Lysart has sent through this message.
On behalf of all of us here at Lysart, I'd like to congratulate you all and also thank you for your ongoing support of Lysart products. The jury considered 11 projects in the commercial architecture category, so let's take a look.
Timber Tower by Kirk. The Eaves, West Village by Bureau Probits. Nettleton Tribe, Brisbane Studio by Nettleton Tribe. Hyperdome, North Mall by Cavill Architects in association with Sullivan, Skinner and Buchan. Queensland Fire and Emergency Services, Southwestern Regional Headquarters by Sims White Architects. Western Cape Communities Trust Administration Centre by Clark and Prince. Gurrini Yillamukka Health and Wellbeing Centre by POD, People Oriented Design with Coburn Architecture. 36 Abbott Street by Edge Architecture. The Oasis, Townsville by Counterpoint Architecture with Form, Architecture and Design. Noosa Car Spa by Andrew Bock Architecture. And Proserpine Administration and Local Disaster Coordination Centre by Conrad Gargett.
The jury have awarded 2 commendations for commercial architecture in 2022, and the first of these goes to the Queensland Fire and Emergency Services Southwestern Regional Headquarters by Sims White Architects. A second commendation is presented to the Oasis Townsville by Counterpoint Architecture with Form Architecture and Design. We have 2 awards for commercial architecture this year, and the first of these goes to Western Cape Communities Trust Administration Centre by Clark and Prince.
Through extensive engagement with 11 traditional owner groups, this project successfully embraces holistic cultural narratives through the building's siting, its landscape, and integration in architecture and interiors. The jury applauds this extremely well thought out project, which has successfully navigated the challenges of building in the Cape York region and provides a recognisable and prominent home within the community on culturally significant land. Congratulations, Clark and Prince.
Our second award for commercial architecture goes to Proserpine Administration and Local Disaster Coordination Centre by Conrad Gargett.
This project reflects its local aesthetic through intuitive design that also addresses the cyclonic impacts that destroyed the previous facility. Conrad Gargett's informed local knowledge and understanding of the community, industry and region is evident and shines in the civic-minded solutions demonstrated in this building. The well-resolved design has provided the community with a landmark building which will serve it well into the future. Congratulations, Conrad Gargett.
And just a little reminder that it is only the named award winners. So we'll use this first category to get it right. Congratulations to everyone who's received awards in the commercial category. The highest honour in this category is the Beatrice Hutton Award for Commercial Architecture, and this year it's presented to the Timber Tower by Kirk.
This cleverly executed 5-storey cross-laminated timber structure was erected in less than a month through methodically planned prefabrication techniques, developed in direct response to the limited build time, fixed floor area, and the challenge of constructing in an occupied and operational site. The jury applauds this experimental project, the first non-residential building in Australia to use locally grown and manufactured mass timber, making it a true demonstration of innovative decarbonisation in the building process. Congratulations, Kirk.
Kirk are very humbled and proud to win this award. We'd like to thank the sub-consultant team and the builder. We'd also specifically like to thank our client, NAI, for this award. So they came along the journey with us on the decision to go timber for a number of reasons, and it was a tough decision, but I think, well, we know they made the right decision. It's a decision that we were hoping for, and I think it's been a very good outcome. We think it's a very important project because it's a new typology for smaller floor plate commercial buildings that are very quick to build, which makes a lot of commercial advantage for our clients and tenants. So thank you to the jury.
Thanks, Andrew, and congratulations to Kirk. We now move on to the category of educational architecture, which is supported by Homes Fire. So James O'Neill at the team of Homes Fire will present now the 5 projects considered by the state jury for an educational architecture award.
Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN. Andrew N. Liveris Building by Lyons and M3 Architecture. The Marion Centre, Brigadine College by Blight Rayner. St Thomas Aquinas Centre by Dyke Richards. And USC Foundation Building, Moreton Bay Campus by Hassel.
there are 3 awards and the named award presented in this category. The first of these, an award for educational architecture, goes to Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN.
The jury considers that this exemplar next-generation educational facility will set benchmarks beyond Queensland. It offers ample choice of teaching and learning environments of all types and scales, while the envelope, landscape and composition of the building responds to a subtropical environment, enabling natural ventilation, shade and protection from the elements. Congratulations, BVN.
Our second Educational Architecture Award goes to St Thomas Aquinas Centre by Dikey Richards.
This project carefully knits a new educational facility into an existing school campus, resetting the campus master plan to enable a new face to the public. The project subtly and sensitively connects the administrative areas to the student and public interfaces, while the simple and well-detailed monolithic brickwork and glass facade helps to provide a new image for the school, connecting it to the public realm. Congratulations, Dikey Richards.
Our third award in this category goes to USC Foundation Building, Moreton Bay Campus by Hassel.
The jury commends this high-quality, well-detailed and well-considered higher education building. Inverting the classic external courtyard typology successfully enables this building to embrace and connect the users under one grand roof. Planned around an internal open academic amphitheatre, an internal circulation loop navigates teaching spaces to its perimeter, interspersed with intimate personal learning nooks, communal shared spaces and staff accommodation. Congratulations, Hassel.
The highest honour that can be bestowed in this category is the Jennifer Taylor Award for Educational Architecture. And in 2022, this is awarded to the Andrew N. Liveris Building by Lyons and M3 Architecture.
Described by the jury as a unique and compelling project that is a canvas for many possibilities, this project, located in a significant site on the St Lucia campus, addresses a complex and technical brief. The architects have developed a serious laboratory building with a playful and esoteric approach that interconnects engagement strategies for academic, scientific, social learning and economic pursuits. Quirky and unexpected, but effective and memorable, the building brings together conceptual and pragmatic approaches in unique and poetic ways for an unexpected typology. Congratulations, Lyons and M3 Architecture.
Yes, please.
Hi everyone. I'm probably like everybody. It's just wonderful to be in a physical space with lots of other people, especially if you come from Melbourne. We've had a lot of lockdown. So big thank you to the jury. I'm speaking on behalf of a very large crew. It's like the Royal We. It was a very intense, creative and professional collaboration between Lyons and M3. So I won't name everyone in detail, but it's been a fantastic collaboration between our practice and the M3 practice. I would like to do a shout out to the client, UQ. They were brave enough 7 years ago to run a design competition, which takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of commitment, takes a lot of steadfastness over 7 years to get the final results. So they will be, I think, immensely proud to receive this award, as are we. And I might invite one of the M3 team to say a few words as well.
Thanks, Kerry. I just wanted to say we started working at UQ probably in around 2000. Some of you might know the brick box made of broken bricks. So we forged a remarkable working relationship with UQ. There's a lot being said about clients tonight, but I think UQ is one of the great patrons of architecture that we have in our state. And we were fortunate enough that that project all those years ago was our first published project, and we received a letter in the mail after it was published in AR from one Kerry Lyon, snail mail, because it was pre-internet, to say, we picked up this magazine, saw your project, and congratulations for doing excellent work. I don't know anyone else who would bother to write another practice a letter about such things, but such is the calibre of Lions, and since 2000 effectively Lions and M3 have been keeping in touch with each other, so this collaboration hasn't sprung from nowhere, and nor is our relationship with UQ, so these things are kind of deeply founded outcomes, I think. So again, I'd like to say thank you to UQ and also to Lions for being a wonderful collaborating partner, and to the jury, of course. Thanks.
We now move on to the category of heritage, and State Juror Marianne Amons has recorded this message for us.
Hi everyone. It has been my pleasure to be part of this year's State Jury to celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of all the entrants. The projects entered in the heritage category form an integral part of our history and understanding of the early formation of our built environment. They have carefully considered modern insertions or adaptively created a new use in our local and state heritage places. And now, let's take a look at the 4 projects entered in the category of heritage.
St Joseph's, Nudgee College, Treacy Precinct by M3 Architecture. Building 8, RNA Showgrounds by Conrad Gargett. Princess Theatre by JDA Co. And Maritimo by Conrad Gargett.
The jury have awarded a commendation in the category of heritage architecture to the Princess Theatre by JDA Co. We have both an award and a named award, and the award for heritage goes to Building 8, RNA Showgrounds by Conrad Gargett.
The former Sheep and Wool Pavilion is a modest adaptation with minimal and discreet interventions. The 1920s timber-framed core has been retained and outer 1960s additions removed, except for one facade, to unveil the original and early structure. This project demonstrates excellent borough charter principles, with an attitude of restraint befitting the building, its history and the public domain. Congratulations, Conrad Gargett.
The Don Roderick Award for Heritage is the highest honour in this category, and in 2022 this is presented to St Joseph's, Nudgee College, Treacy Precinct by M3 Architecture.
The culmination of a 15-year master plan by the client and architect, the Treacy Precinct reinstates a prestige and a refined new curtilage to the original buildings within Nudgee College's Heritage Precinct, while renewing lost campus connections and reactivating community gathering spaces. Undertaking thorough research, respect for previous architectural intent, selective removal and a restrained design solution, the project works succeed on many levels. The restoration of significant spaces, discrete modern interventions and innovative use of original fabric demonstrates a competent and refined understanding of conservation architecture, education and the history of the school. Congratulations, M3 Architecture.
Thank you to the jury, and big thank you to our client, St Joseph's Nudgee College. Another example of a really long-standing client with our practice who have seen out over a decade's worth of planning to get to this project. And the whole time they've sort of understood the value that architecture brings to their school community and how it helps to support their ongoing culture and their community. So big thanks to Nudgee College, and thank you very much to our team who are much bigger than just Luke up here, but thank you to Luke as well. Thanks.
Our next category this evening is for urban design, which is supported by the Office of the Queensland Government Architect. Let's take a look at the 5 projects that are in the running.
University of Queensland, Gatton Campus, Heart and Entry by LAT27. Rose Precinct by Aspect Architects and Project Managers. Andrew N. Liveris Building by Lyons and M3 Architecture. Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN. And Montessori International College 2020 to 2040 Master Plan by Place Sense.
The jury have awarded a commendation, an award and the named award. The commendation for urban design in 2022 goes to Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN. An award for urban design is presented to University of Queensland, Gatton Campus, Heart and Entry by LAT27.
This project revitalises an underutilised historic spine within the university core by enhancing links between historic and modern fabric and providing a clear order of arrival sequences through the new endemic landscape. The jury commends this understated approach to providing a climatically responsive and functional solution that brings life back to the heart of the campus. Congratulations, LAT27.
The Carl Langer Award for Urban Design is the highest honour in this category. And this year it's awarded to the Andrew N. Liveris Building by Lyons and M3 Architecture.
Situated on a large site, this project occupies a significant location at UQ's St Lucia campus, on an axis with the historic Great Court, and the architects chose to compose the project brief in a compact cube of consolidated space. A pedestrian crosslink connects Staff House and Cooper Road in a previously impenetrable part of the site, imaginatively connected to the suspended green tree pods that form part of the vertical circulation strategies and activating urban space. The jury applauds this exemplary response to a complex campus environment that successfully optimises the current condition and liberates future opportunities. Congratulations once again to Lyons and M3 Architecture.
This is an interesting award because I can remember the moment in the design competition where Neil said, let's not build on the whole site, let's crunch the building up onto only half of it so we can make a really dynamic, focused building that's got this really dynamic heart. And I think that was the kind of seminal moment in the building that we have. And of course, it was in part about making a really wonderful building, but it was also in part about making an interesting contribution to the urban fabric of UQ. So thank you, jury.
Yeah, maybe I will just add to that, again, just riffing on my praise to the university for running the design competition. They did it because it was complicated. It was a complicated technical brief, really interesting position on the campus, and the strategies we feel maybe being recognised by the jury was that sense of connectivity to bring research and learning and student life and researchers' life directly into the life of the campus by strategies of connectivity. So we are, I think, extremely delighted and proud that the project would actually win an Urban Design Award. So again, thank you very much to the jury.
We now move to the category of Interior Architecture, which is supported by Dulux. Alison Sace and Damien Morrison from Dulux have sent through this message.
Hi everyone, my name's Alison.
And I'm Damien. We're the specification consultants for Queensland. Dulux is very proud of its long-standing relationship with the Australian Institute of Architects, with over 25 years of partnership and involvement.
We're passionate about the design and architecture industry. We're thrilled to be a sponsor for this category. We'd like to congratulate all the finalists and the category award winners.
BVN Brisbane Studio by BVN. Hyperdome North Mall by Cavill Architects in association with Sullivan, Skinner and Buchan. Tees Workplace by Cox Architecture. Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN. And Andrew N. Liveris Building by Lyons and M3 Architecture.
Friends, we have 4 announcements to make in this category, the category of Interior Architecture. The first is a commendation for Interior Architecture, which is presented to Hyperdome North Mall by Cavill Architects in association with Sullivan, Skinner and Buchan. We have 2 awards for Interior Architecture, and the first of these goes to Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN.
Described by the jury as an exemplar educational facility in any context, the interior architecture goes beyond typical expectations for public school typologies. Interior spaces are direct responses to the building's architecture, bright, light-filled and transparent, with direct visual connection between spaces and to the landscape and broader context. Congratulations once again to BVN.
Our second award for Interior Architecture is presented to the Andrew N. Liveris Building by Lyons and M3 Architecture.
Quirky aesthetics can be put aside as the rigour and consideration of the architectural planning outweighs the esoteric nature of the architectural language. Well organised and functional, this fit-for-purpose interior exemplifies the direct relationship between architectural and functional requirements to deliver an interesting and compelling interior architecture. Congratulations once again to Lyons and M3 Architecture.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pinnacle honour in this category is the G.H.M. Addison Award for Interior Architecture, and this year it's awarded to BVN Brisbane Studio by BVN.
The BVN office interior fit-out typifies the real possibilities in the future of workplace, particularly in an inner-city urban environment. A deliberate attempt has been made to place workspace on a veranda, combined with an operable envelope, providing staff with the choice to work in a passive or conditioned environment. A brave move that explores the real incentive for environmental change that should be embraced by landlords and authorities. Well-orchestrated arrival, circulation and planning sequences demonstrate the transparency and openness of the business culture, approach and values. And the jury applauds this ambitious and experimental, actively passive workplace environment. Congratulations, BVN.
Thank you to the jury, and especially want to celebrate
Michelle Wren, who was the project architect for this and had to absorb 15 partners hassling her every day about everything, and she pulled it off with aplomb and grace. So thank you. I think the thing that's fascinating about this particular project is that we wanted to make settings after COVID that brought people back to the office. So there's an intimacy to all of those things, and we're especially proud of the idea that we actually have a veranda and we're in Queensland. So thank you.
We now move to the category of small project architecture. State Juror Paul Jones has recorded this message to introduce the nominees.
Architecture, large or small, makes a difference. And now let's take a look at the 3 projects considered by the State Jury for the small project architecture category.
Riverside Green, South Bank Parklands by Hassel. Mandingal Bay Yidinji, Eco-Cultural Arrival Facilities by Philip Folland Architects. And Ed Hardy Park Amenities by ME.
The jury have conferred an award for small project architecture for the Mandingal Bay Yidinji Eco-Cultural Arrival Facilities by Philip Folland Architects.
This project provides an artistic outcome with imagery related to the Indigenous culture of the area, whilst creating an architectural identity to the significant East Trinity Reserve. It is a small but complex undertaking, resolving accessibility, pontoon positioning, tidal and flood issues, as well as the biodiversity preservation. And the jury commends this intelligent and well-considered design response. Congratulations, Philip Folland Architects.
The jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, which is the Hayes and Scott Award for Small Project Architecture, to Riverside Green, South Bank Parklands by Hassel.
Riverside Green allows for simultaneous occupation for a variety of scales and uses, and supports Brisbane's recreation needs at a time when population growth is putting pressure on the city's existing public green spaces. Subtle spatial modulation creates a gradient from enveloping rainforest to open lawn, the lines deliberately blurred, while the gentle stepping down across the site connects and leverages this prime riverfront position. The pavilion's elegant copper skin has been carefully considered, deliberately employed, and complements the setting, bringing durability and timeless appeal to highlight the civic function of the space. Congratulations, Hassel.
I'd just like to thank our team. It's been a wonderful experience to work with some great landscape architects and people really committed to making a real good building. We'd also like to thank South Bank Corporation for sort of giving us the chance to actually make this building. You know, we talked a lot about sort of like the place and the life lived outdoors in Queensland, and it's a great privilege to make a building for Brisbane, and hopefully it's a lasting building and can last for a long time and be there for 100 years. Thank you.
Friends, our next category is sustainable architecture, which is supported by Kennedy's Timbers. Michael Kennedy has sent through this message to introduce the nominees in the category of sustainable architecture.
What a fantastic evening this is turning out to be at the State Awards. Kennedy's are very pleased to be sponsoring the Sustainable Architectural Award this year because, as you all know, you wonderful architects, wood is the most environmentally friendly building material. Now, the jury has considered 7 magnificent projects. Here are the nominees.
Mandingal Bay Yidinji Eco-Cultural Arrival Facilities by Philip Folland Architects. Timber Tower by Kirk. Brisbane South State Secondary College by BVN. Matabarosaurus Interpretation Centre by Brian Hooper Architect. Australis by Sealand. Ann Street Garden Villas by Anna O'Gorman Architect. And Live Work Share House by Bly Graham Architects.
This year the jury have awarded 2 commendations along with the named award. The first of these commendations goes to Timber Tower by Kirk. And our second commendation in this category goes to the Matabarosaurus Interpretation Centre by Brian Hooper Architect. This year, the Harry Marks Award for Sustainable Architecture is presented to the Live Work Share House by Bly Graham Architects.
This house was envisaged as a prototype for testing ideas and showcasing how a home can grow and transform to suit changing lifestyles. And the architects refer to it as a village within a village. This aptly summarises the inbuilt flexibility and adaptability that can accommodate an office space and a self-contained shared or rental space, in addition to a standard home. It is commendable as a model of how people can live, using every opportunity of an ordinary suburban block, and helps push the understanding of sustainability beyond the biophysical in considering a wider social and economic context. Congratulations, Bly Graham Architects.
Wow, okay, well thank you, jury. Certainly a big surprise. Sustainability in our practice is a sort of core concern, what we call one of the fundamentals for us, and forms the basis of all our work and our initial thinking. And I guess in this house we were keen to just put together a whole lot of learning from, this is our 20 years of practice actually this year, so it's a nice timing. And yeah, it's been working really well for us. I can't thank the clients because we are the client. But it's been working very well and very comfortable to live in, and we're really enjoying it. And hopefully it will help continue the conversation around this important topic of how to bring sustainability into everyday life. Okay, thank you.
We will now move on to the categories for residential architecture, and we're going to begin with multiple housing. 4 projects came through the regional awards for consideration by the state jury, and here are the nominees.
Hawthorn Siblings by Refresh Design. Ann Street Garden Villas by Anna O'Gorman Architect. Marlin Villas by Shane Denman Architects. And Norfolk Burleigh Heads by Koichi Takada Architects.
A commendation for residential architecture, multiple housing, is presented to Hawthorn Siblings by Refresh Design. We have 1 award for residential architecture, multiple housing, and this is presented to Norfolk Burleigh Heads by Koichi Takada Architects.
Positioned in a landmark location, this 10-storey structure provides 15 unique apartments and strikes a balance between public sculpture and resident autonomy. A highly crafted response demonstrating dedication to detail, the conceptual framework achieves a fluid, fine form and a lightness not often achieved in projects of this scale. Congratulations, Koichi Takada Architects.
The Job and Froud Award for Residential Architecture Multiple Housing is the highest honour in this category. And this year, the jury have presented it to the Ann Street Garden Villas by Anna O'Gorman Architects.
The brief for this project was to enable residents to be a good neighbour by creating opportunities to socialise while also respecting the privacy and space of fellow residents. Each dwelling has an entry courtyard and garden that provides a private space for retreat, while the simple palette of robust materials responds to context and scale. Each design element used has a duality that responds to the social, climatic, safety and individual needs of residents. And the jury was impressed by the consideration of privacy, personalisation, access and connection, which provide a sense of both independence and also community. Congratulations, Anna O'Gorman, architect.
Thank you to the jury. It's really special to receive this award for Ann Street Garden Villas. This project challenges a lot of current social housing ways of doing things, and as a demonstration project it was important to challenge and find alternative ways of I suppose expressing some of these current ways of thinking. Everyone involved worked really hard. I'd like to thank the consultant team, which included LAT27, who designed the landscape and the central garden, and Westera, who were the structural and civil engineers, H-Design for hydraulics, NISCO for certification. Also like to thank the builder, who is Nano Constructions. And last but not least, thank my client, who was the Department of Community Housing and Digital Economies, because without them this project wouldn't have happened. And they had a lot of faith and trust in the vision from the beginning. So thank you.
Congratulations, Anna. Our next residential architecture category is for alterations and additions, with 9 projects considered by the state jury. Let's see who's in the running.
Greenhouse by Steendyke. Cascade House by John Elway. Frangipani Pavilion by Archie. Toowong Renovation by Kin Architects. Ashgrove Hillside House by Kieran Gate Architects. House for New Farm by Mark & Co. Currumbin Waters House by Nielsen Jenkins. Noosa Heads House by Vokes & Peters. And Bath House by Kelly Martin Architecture.
In the category of residential architecture, alterations and additions, we have 3 awards to present this evening. And the first of these goes to Currumbin Waters House by Nielsen Jenkins.
A reconfiguration and slight addition to an existing GJ Gardner display home, this project shows that great value can be achieved through reuse, careful edits, and the constraint of a modest budget. The key move of relocating the existing car accommodation to the adjoining cul-de-sac allowed a creative reimagining of connection to the landscape and to community. Congratulations, Nielsen Jenkins.
Our second award in this category goes to Cascade House by John Elway.
This project demonstrates the way in which modest and highly disciplined interventions can yield generous and joyful outcomes. The new and old are anchored around a courtyard, with the roofline kept low, while interventions to the cottage are minimised, respecting the existing fabric and street connection. This is a wonderful example of how good design can benefit not only the owners, but also the neighbourhood. Congratulations, John Elway.
Our third award for residential architecture, alterations and additions goes to Noosa Heads House by Vokes and Peters.
Starting life as a mediocre suburban proposition, the architect saw value in almost wholly retaining the existing brick house, extracting only what was necessary in a rare proposition for housing in this location. Masterfully crafted to bring delight, the renovation embodies a set of values and inquiries that is evident through the architect's lineage of work. Congratulations, Vokes and Peters.
This year, the Alina Mottram Award for Residential Architecture Houses, Alterations and Additions is awarded to Greenhouse by Steendyke.
On a tight inner-city residential block measuring 10 by 20 metres, the Greenhouse is an ambitious and skillful reworking of a humble Spring Hill workers' cottage. The need to rebuild the bulk of the house delivered a new, meticulous and rich interior world, with an expansive connection to a new walled garden that belies the site area. And a spaciousness and variety has been achieved despite the tiny floor plan, with each space having its own character and engagement with the exterior. The use of recycled hardwood, combined with climatically responsive design, on-site power and water harvesting, further demonstrate how historic fabric can be reimagined for contemporary times. Congratulations, Steendyke.
Thank you. Thank you to the jury, and thank you to the Institute. And it's very humbling because there was a lot of people in this category, and it was well fought. And I think congratulations go to all the other entries. Thank you so much.
Our final residential category is for Houses New, where our state jury were tasked with considering 14 projects, those projects coming through from the regional awards programs. Let's have a look at the nominees.
Live, Work, Share House by Bly Graham Architects. Earl Parade by Cavell Architects. Winship Shed by Red Dog Architects. Minoko by Conrad Gargett. New Farmhouse by Tim Benetton Architects. Longhouse by Thomas O'Malley Architect. Toowoomba House by Nielsen Jenkins. 8 Beachfront Mirage by TPG Architects. Banksia House by Afra Architecture. Coastside by Dagenhart Shed, Architecture and Urban Design. Water's Edge by Jamison Architects. Ridgewood House by Robinson Architects. Witter Circle by Sean Lockyer Architects. And Mount Melham House by Sparks Architects.
From this field of nominees, we have 3 announcements to make. 2 awards and the named award. The first of these is an award for residential architecture, Houses New, to Banksia House by Afra Architecture.
The architect has designed both a refuge to accommodate daily life and a sanctuary deeply connected to the environment. A robust material palette withstands the elements. Large masonry brace walls serve as windbreaks, and deep eaves shade the interior in summer months. The result described by the jury as a good neighbour and a great coastal house. Congratulations, Afra Architecture.
Our second award for new houses goes to Witter Circle by Sean Lockyer Architects.
The architect's intuitive response to the client brief explores a courtyard typology that boldly emerges from within its site, embracing the endemic landscape and subtropical climate. The void and courtyard in the middle of the plan creates the zone separation and brings daylight deep into the plan. This is a house that will age gracefully with time and within the landscape. Congratulations, Sean Lockyer Architects.
The jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, the Robin Dodds Award for Residential Architecture, Houses New, to the Live, Work, Share House by Bligh Graham Architects.
Taking advantage of a dual street frontage block, all components of this project contribute to neighbourhood and streetscape character. And the home provides solutions to issues surrounding housing affordability, remote working, and the need to house a growing population. Planning of the ground level includes an orchestrated cluster of micro courtyards that gives permeability and resilience to the building, no matter what its future use or guise. And the jury applauds the architect's ambition in testing new housing options that meet contemporary community, urban and environmental challenges. Congratulations once again to Bligh Graham Architects.
Thank you very much to the jury and to the Institute. We're very, very honoured to get this award and quite humbled. This was our opportunity to contribute to the conversation around housing, exploring the ideas around flexibility and adaptability. It's a very important area, as we all know at the moment, and we were very fortunate to have this opportunity to use our house as a bit of a case study to explore these ideas. So thank you so much.
I'd just like to say it's really nice that my father, past president and my fellow Graham Bligh is here tonight to share this with us. And yeah, it's nice and glad.
We now move to the final of our main awards categories, and this is the award for public architecture, which is supported by Bosch. Richard Woodmason has sent through this introduction to the public architecture category for this year.
Hi everyone, we're delighted to be supporting the public category at tonight's Queensland Architecture Awards. This category recognises projects which display innovation, address public interest and solve problems of human interaction with architecture. On behalf of Bosch, we would like to wish everybody nominated in this category the very best of luck. The jury have shortlisted 4 projects in the public architecture, and here are the nominees.
Hota Gallery by ARM Architecture. New Farm Neighbourhood Centre by Vokes and Peters with Susanna and Nicholas. Muttaburrasaurus Interpretation Centre by Brian Hooper Architect. And Peru Civic and Community Enterprise Centre by Elia Architecture.
Friends, we have 3 announcements to make in this category, and the first of those is an award for public architecture to Hota Gallery by ARM Architecture.
The third completed element in the Hota Master Plan for the City of Gold Coast, the architecture provides a beacon for the site and long views to the precinct from afar. The Voronoi, initially utilised as an organising strategy, now forms a bold motif across the facade, adapting and shifting in response to external change, representing a bold cultural precinct reflecting the youthful energy of Australia's 6th biggest city. Congratulations, ARM Architecture.
Our second award for public architecture goes to the New Farm Neighbourhood Centre by Vokes and Peters with Susanna and Nicholas.
This significant social asset sits harmoniously in the existing streetscape, and the architects have developed a finely tuned understanding of the diverse operators and visitors to this centre, orchestrating their needs skillfully into a welcoming communal setting. The jury commends this successful and thoughtful reading of both home and community. Congratulations, Vokes and Peters with Susanna and Nicholas.
The highest honour in this category takes the name of FDG Stanley. The FDG Stanley Award for Public Architecture this year is presented to the Muttaburrasaurus Interpretation Centre by Brian Hooper Architect.
This sensitive architectural expression of landscape and built form celebrates the most complete fossilised dinosaur skeleton found in Australia. The building is undeniably of its place, with the careful placement of the entry and openings creating an indelible connection to the setting, especially at sunset. The unique surroundings have inspired this harmonious architectural response that rises from the landscape as though it was always part of the town's story. This incredibly successful installation has reinforced the identity and tourism potential of the small town of Muttaburra, showing the power of well-executed public architecture. Congratulations, Brian Hooper Architect.
To say I'm overwhelmed is an absolute understatement. Look, to stand here tonight, I don't think there's any higher honour than to be acknowledged by your peers. My heart's racing, and I'm not going to cry, Michael, because I'll leave that. I'm absolutely lost for words. I'd just like to say it's lovely to see so many familiar faces up here and tonight. And I don't see myself sitting in isolation for the last 20 years up there in Yeppoon. I sometimes wonder whether architecture was the right thing for me. Because I look back and there's probably three seminal moments in my career as an architect, and one was in, I think, third year, and I got a letter from Gordon Holden, and I think someone else sitting in this crowd who stood here tonight got one within the same week with a show cause why we should still be enrolled in the architecture program. And that wasn't quite the bigger kick up the arse I needed, and it wasn't until Paula Whitman turned my love of architecture, well, actually turned my dislike of architecture into a love of architecture. So I really have to thank her. And then in terms of being so privileged, and it's been an absolute honour to have worked with M3 collaboratively over the years on a lot of projects, and they've actually taught me, I think my education actually has been really a credit to them teaching me in terms of process. So look, I know everyone's thirsty. I know everyone wants to go to the toilet. I'll finish up now. Wood is so 2021, rocks are so 2022. And in the words of Fred Flintstone, yabba dabba doo. Thank
you. So, Brian reminds us we are on the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. The next announcement is a new initiative of the Emerging Architects and Graduate Network, which is known as EmAGN. The EmAGN Project Award is a celebration of a project that has come about through the contributions of an early career architect in areas such as leadership, collaboration, application of expertise and quality of architecture. There are this year 3 projects in the running for the inaugural award. Let's take a look.
Princess Theatre by JDA Co. Hota Gallery by ARM Architecture. And 36 Abbott Street by Edge Architecture.
The inaugural EmAGN Project Award goes to Princess Theatre, to Sam Bousted of JDA Co.
Sam's role as the project architect for the design, fit-out, construction and restoration of the Princess Theatre is a commendable accomplishment as his first project since registration in 2020. This opportunity to develop leadership skills required complex and challenging outcomes to be achieved on a State Heritage listed building that sits within a constrained site. Sam's ability to manage and listen to all concerns by the client entertainment industry experienced consultants and regulatory authorities has resulted in a commendable project which is reinstated and celebrates its former life. Congratulations, Sam Bosted from JDA Co.
Unfortunately, Sam's not able to be with us this evening. We now move to the Emerging Architect Prize, which is supported by BlueScope. This prize recognises an individual or collaboration's contribution to architectural practice, education, design excellence, community involvement, advancing the profession's role within the public arena. The jury was chaired by Dr. Mark Jones, and he was joined by Tamarin Taylor, the 2021 Emerging Architect Prize winner, and EmAGN Queensland co-chairs Lehan Jantz, Van Rensburg and Callum Senjov. It's my pleasure to announce the 2022 Emerging Architect Prize is awarded to Tanya Golochenko.
Tanya Golochenko is a consistent advocate for equity and accessibility, listening, mentoring and supporting others. She has crafted a respected career in transport infrastructure projects, actively helping to shape the city and facilitating widespread accessibility in Brisbane's public spaces, while simultaneously promoting the representation of young women in the design and construction industries. Of particular note is her admirable pursuit of equitable, research-based architecture, using innovative collaboration techniques to achieve best practice, equal accessible outcomes for all transport users. The jury applauds this combination of professionalism, mentoring and service to the community. Congratulations, Tanya Golochenko.
Well, I'm very humbled to get this prize. There's so many amazing emerging architects in Queensland. But I'm also very excited to have this platform to share my passion for inclusive design and consulting with community to really understand the lived experience and create better spaces. I guess my passion for inclusive design comes from having a daughter who was born with hearing loss, and she teaches me to see the world differently and communicate differently with the people around me. But I'd like to thank my amazing team for nominating me. It's an honour. I'd like to thank the Institute for recognising me. I'd like to thank Hassel for supporting my passions and my ambitions, and of course my daughter for being, I guess, my inspiration and drive to create more inclusive spaces. Thank you.
We have two very significant honours to round out our evening. They are the Award for Enduring Architecture and the Queensland Architecture Medallion. The Enduring Architecture category recognises buildings of at least 25 years of age that continue to be important today. So without any further ado, the State Jury have given the 2022 Award for Enduring Architecture to the Harry Gibbs Building Commonwealth Law Courts by Australian Construction Services in association with Peddle-Thorpe Architects.
The Harry Gibbs Commonwealth Law Courts, completed in 1993 and named in honour of former Chief Justice Sir Harry Talbot Gibbs, is a monumental and civic building which is an important and memorable feature in the cityscape. In scale, it suits the dignity of the institution of the law but avoids being intimidating, while the finishes to the building are of extremely high standard and enduring, and the sculptures and artworks are a lost example of the integration of arts and architecture which were carefully curated and considered in the design. As such, it is a most worthy recipient of the 2022 Award for Enduring Architecture.
Thank you very much. Look, this building sort of followed a series of very tragic attacks in Sydney. And as a result of that, the brief for this building was fortress-like. It has a lot of blast-proof structure, blast-proof glazing, a whole range of things that perhaps aren't quite evident. However, it was meant to be a very solid piece of architecture in our city. And I guess, in a way, stands in stark contrast to the brief for the Supreme Court's building of lightness and glass and accessibility. So I guess it's almost like a bookend to the typologies of some of the law courts around Australia. I accept this on behalf of all the people who have contributed to this building. It was an amazing project at the time, and the fact that it's still here and it's still functioning well, I think, is a credit to everyone who was involved in the team. And special thanks to Peddle-Thorpes for their diligence and their skill throughout the process. So thank you.
My notes asked for a video there, but I'm not seeing a video. So, our final announcement, and the highest accolade that can be given to a project in the Queensland Architecture Awards, is the Queensland Architecture Medallion. The Queensland State Jury Chair, Shai Tay, has recorded this message to make the announcement.
And without further ado, the 2022 Queensland Medallion is awarded to Andrew and Lavera's building by Lions and M3 Architecture. Congratulations.
A remarkable piece of architecture, already recognised with the Queensland chapter's highest honours for educational architecture and urban design, the Andrew N. Liveris building is also awarded the Queensland Medallion for displaying the highest level of design excellence and thinking. Far beyond a well-considered learning environment, this landmark development represents environment, social and governance, and it leaves a legacy of learning and hope for the future. The jury commends the University of Queensland for their continued commitment to create a world-leading learning and research environment and leading Australia towards a more sustainable future. Congratulations once again to Lions and M3 Architecture.
You're last on. A quick one.
I'm just going to reiterate some of the things that Kerry and Michael said previously, and that is, without a really amazing client with a really strong vision, buildings that are this joyful and this impactful don't occur, but also to really recognise what a collaboration can bring, and the fact that two strong practices who are willing to actually not just collaborate but also argue and also do what's best for the building and always best for project can deliver. And it's been such an honour to do this with this really amazing group. And I think the real crew that delivered it is about 4 times as big as what we're presenting here on stage. But it's been fantastic and we're really honoured. And thank you to the jury, thank you to everybody. It's just been a really great project and a really great process. Thank you.
Friends, that brings the Queensland Architecture Awards announcements for 2022 to a close. I'd like us to join in a big round of applause to congratulate all of the commendation and award recipients and all the practices who entered their projects in the awards this year. A big round of applause. Finally, I'd like to thank the national and chapter corporate partners and supporters, It's so great that many of them were able to join us tonight, either in person or via their video messages. Would you please thank them? Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for celebrating Queensland architecture in 2022. Good evening.
You've been watching the 2022 Queensland Architecture Awards, proudly supported by BlueScope and Taubmans, Alspec, Dulux and Brickworks, Bondor Metechno, Lysart, Fielders and Bosch, Plan Cover and Architecture Media, as well as the Queensland chapter partners, Hutchinson Builders, Homes Fire, Kennedy's Timbers, Peach Careers and the Office of the Queensland Government Architect.